Welcome back to another episode of the Fifth Quarter Podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, the Bluff City Cowboy, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee. And unfortunately, we could not celebrate a victory Wednesday today because of the embarrassing loss that we had against the Chicago Bears last week. So we're going to do a quick recap of last week's game, and then we're going to look ahead to another NFC North foe in the Green Bay Packers. We'll try our best to be as optimistic as possible, but you guys watch the same game we watch, so you pretty much know what we're going to expect. But we're still going to bring you a full show tonight, give you all the same content and topics we normally give you, and we'll try our best to make you guys feel a little bit better about what to expect on Sunday night. Last week was a rivalry game. Unfortunately, Amanda couldn't join me last week, but she is here with us tonight to make up for it. So, Amanda, thank you for joining us tonight.
Of course, I could not come back for the Packers game, right? That'd
Yeah.
be messy. But after having both of those, brother and dad on the show, I felt obligated. So here
Right.
I am. I mean, it's a little bit different now, ain't it?
Definitely.
Man,
Different
Oh.
circumstances.
definitely different. But we're here.
All right. So I see those views are growing pretty quickly. So thank you, everybody, joining us from the DC4L Facebook group. If you guys get a chance, as you know, we do have 2 YouTube channels as well. So if after the show, go on over to YouTube, find DC4L, hit that subscribe button. Also find me at Bluff City Cowboys on YouTube, hit that subscribe button as well. And for those of you watching from YouTube, if you have not done so already, make sure that you come over to Facebook, find DC4L, a huge group, safe space for Cowboys fans, heavily regulated, a lot of great content, a lot of great conversation, prizes, giveaways, everything you can imagine that a Cowboy fan would want. I see we got Ali Harrison joining us. Appreciate you joining us on Facebook. And then we got Raphael Govan joining us on YouTube. And as you guys know, this is an interactive show. So like, comment, let us know what your thoughts are, because this show is fueled by the fifth quarter podcast nation. All right. I see the DC4L group is starting to come in pretty quick tonight. I don't know what that means, good or bad, but
Well, I got it shared over there, so
okay.
I was like, let's get it in there. You know, we want to hear from everybody.
Yeah,
So
the numbers are growing on that page a lot quicker than they normally do. I thought it was going to be a big griping session, but that's what this show is for. We love to hear your thoughts, questions, and comments.
that's right.
Hector Vargas Jr., thank you for joining us. Errol Gardner, another regular, thank you for tuning in tonight. So before we look ahead to the Green Bay game, we have to look back at the game against the Chicago Bears. Christopher Woods, thank you for joining as well. Appreciate it. So we have to look back at last week's game. So we're going to give you guys a quick game recap of last week's action. Let's get into it.
I keep trying not to make faces every time you bring up that game.
All right, let's go. Let's do a quick game recap.
Game recap.
So as you guys know, unfortunately, the Dallas Cowboys fell to the Chicago Bears by a score of 14-31. Not a lot of positives I can say about that game, to be honest. I did pull a couple out. So I'm going to give you guys my offensive and defensive notes. Jeff Pop, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you tuning in. Once again, this is an interactive show. So if you're watching for the first time, get in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're watching from, how long you've been a Cowboys fan, or if you have any questions or comments regarding the Cowboys or either game in particular, let us know that also. So Cowboys lost by a score of 14-31. I'll give you a couple of notes I got, offensive and defensive. So on the offensive side of the ball, and any positives I have are going to come from offensive for the most part. Javonte Williams, he looks like the real deal. Like, he looks better than I, as a fan of him, anticipated him looking. I keep seeing people say, let's trade for RB1. Javonte
what?
Williams is on pace for almost 1,200 yards and 13 touchdowns. Where are we going to get any better statistics from than that?
I don't understand the concept. I think people get hung up on name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't think, because I know this sounds terrible, but a lot of fans hear big names and expect big things, right?
Yeah.
So you have someone like a Javonte Williams who comes in and is doing very, very well. When you compare what we did last season to this year on the ground, we're having a lot of success.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we don't have a Barkley or a Henry. We don't have those big names, so they're frustrated. But
Mm-hmm.
I think of it as what's his name? Chase Brown.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a big name, but he's doing very, very, he's putting in the numbers. That's what matters. Names don't matter. Numbers matter. And Javonte, that's who should be running our offense.
Exactly.
I don't care. That's the way it needs to be. So
yeah, definitely. All right, we got Bill Blanchard, longtime Cowboys fan, joining us from across the bridge in Arkansas, 50 years strong. Thank you for tuning in for the first time. Heather Biggs, I don't think I've seen that name before, but Heather, thank you for joining us as well. Hector Vargas said Williams running like DeMarco Murray used to run. Jeff Pop, Williams is fine, but offensive line is shredded. Now this week is going to be brutal. Personally, Jeff Pop, I don't think the glass is half full in terms of offensive line. If you go back to last year,
yep,
Cooper Beebe and Brock Hoffman were in a competition. And to be quite honest, the only reason Beebe won is because he was the drafted guy. Hoffman just as easily could have been our starting center last year. And TJ Bass, who will probably be stepping in this week, was a very quality guard last year. Mm-hmm. And we still have Nathan Thomas, who, if not for a draft position of Tyler Guyton, would probably be our starting left tackle right now. He may be our right guard. We don't know yet. So we have some great options who can fill in. I don't think the drop-off is going to be as dramatic as the fans think. And then to add on top of that, and I probably should have saved this for storylines, but I'm already on it. To add on top of that, the offensive line is built on strength and physicality.
Yeah.
All of our guys are big, physical, aggressive linemen. So it's not like you're taking out some timid guy, taking out some aggressive guy and putting in a timid guy and hoping he can ramp up to the level of other guys. These guys are all nasty.
I will say that they're all very big. I mean, when you look at depth, one thing that you can't say about the Cowboys, and there's been many years previously when Tyron went down, we were, what are we going to do? Right. But this year, that's not the situation. We are I'm not worried about the line. I'm worried about the defense. I never thought I'd ever have to say, I'm not worried about Dak running his offense. I'm worried about the back end of the field over there. Mm-hmm. Jordan Love shredding this place. Matthew Golden going for 300 yards when he's barely caught 30.
Right. It was not a pretty sight.
No.
Bill Blanchard asked the question, will Clowney play this week? Yes. I would be shocked if he doesn't play.
Steven's already said he's playing. We posted that on DC Frill. He said he's in. And I think that I keep thinking about that. And I think that they wanted to surprise Green Bay with how they play him. I expected him to play this past week, and I think it would have been to our benefit. But I think they wanted to give a little bit of shock, not knowing what to expect with the Cowboys with Clowney. I know that probably sounds silly when you think about it. But when you're facing an opponent, you want to have some kind of shock value. And you've got a guy on their team now who's been with us for years. Luckily, he didn't really participate in practice, so he doesn't know all the stuff that the new coach is doing. But I think that's why Clowney didn't play last week. Completely honest, because he said he was ready, and they didn't make him active.
Yeah,
so I think that's what that deal is. He's definitely playing.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, let me go ahead and go through these offensive notes really quick, and then I'll go through a couple of plays just to show you some of the defensive stuff I'm about to talk about. Let's see. So Brevin Spann forward. I gotta show some videos of him blocking because he's doing like a lot of wham blocks and a lot of just one-on-one with defensive ends, and he's dominating every rep.
Yep.
He probably won't get 5 catches this year, and I would still put him as arguably our best tight end. The way he blocks is really opening up lanes for Javonte. I don't have any offensive clips this week, but I'm definitely going to have to put some in so I can show you guys what Brevin Spann Ford is doing as a blocker. Number 4, I know fans give Tolbert a hard time, but when Dak went out, he came in, he made a couple of clutch plays. He basically Pickens put up the stats that Lamb put up, and Tolbert came in and put up the similar stats that Pickens put up the week before: 4 catches, 50 yards or so. We still need him to step up a little bit more, but for what we needed, another possession guy, make a couple of plays, he was able to do that. I think we're still going to need a third or fourth receiver because they don't move Pickens around a lot.
No.
And they don't move Tolbert. So whoever's going to be in the slot is going to be the only guy that's really moving. So we need somebody in the slot who can take advantage of being put in motion and can make some plays when called upon. Let's see. Hector Vargas says, why y'all think CD hasn't been ruled out and is still doubtful? Y'all think we still got a chance he may play?
Mind games.
I would say short answer, Jerry's an idiot. And yeah, like Amanda said, he's delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. I honestly, I'm surprised they stuck Booker on IR.
Right.
So why are you not putting CD unless, he tried to go out there after he got hurt and play again. And what makes it so bizarre to me in this situation, okay. So most of the time, Marcus and I were talking about this in our group chat, our admin chat. Most of the time, an O lineman, you can tape up and see them go, week 3, week 4, and a wide receiver because they have more cuts and more speed that they need that ankle support, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most times you would see the wide receiver go on IR with a high ankle sprain, and you would nurse along your guard because you can make him inactive because with some tape, you can bring him out there and roll him out. So it's completely backwards to what most teams would normally do.
Exactly.
And I thought Booker's was even not as bad of a grade of a sprain as CD's.
Right.
So I'm curious if we see the tightrope procedure on Booker instead of CD, which we discussed as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I read something about they're thinking about sending CD over to Germany to get one of those experimental blood platelet transfusion procedures. I saw something about that today, that they're going to try to, there's supposed to be some things where you can pull out platelets and then put them in a targeted area.
Right.
And they're supposed to send more whatever to cure a targeted area. And they're supposed to be trying that with him.
They go send CD for experimental. That's how you know the team wants to win. They're going to send him for some experimental. He's in Germany right now, Marcus.
Yeah.
He's actually getting pumped up. Instead of shooting him up with whatever they do in the locker room, we send him to a foreign country to get an experimental procedure so he can play football. I'm sorry. That's just hilarious.
I know.
So Cowboys.
It is.
But at least we got Pickens, because it would be even worse if we hadn't have made that trade.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and thank you, Raphael, for answering that question for Jack Meeker. Let's see. Raphael asked the question, what about bringing up Holden from the practice squad? There's going to be 2 people brought up from the practice squad. Yep. I would assume one of them is probably going to be a wide receiver, whether it's Holden or Jalen Cropper, Marino. I would hope it's Holden, but you never can tell. And the other guy will probably be, I think it'll be a linebacker this week. I think it might be Buddy Johnson or Justin Barrett.
I wonder if they're going to activate Blue and move him into the slot, because he is such a strong
Yeah.
receiving running back. He's got great hands out. I mean, that's what he did a lot. He caught, like, he was very much.
Yeah.
I think how many receptions did he have? I'm trying to think in Texas how many he had.
It was a big number for
It was a
college
big
player.
number for a running back. I wonder if that might be their solution.
I would be shocked if Blue is not active this week, considering we're going to have 2 open active spots, and we haven't had that in a while. So the only positions I could see that being are Blue and maybe we have Mozzie and Toya both active this week instead of one or the other. But I think Blue definitely has to be active because, like I said, this game is going to be check down, check down, check down, check down to the running back, check down to the tight end, get the ball out of Dak's hands quickly.
Yeah.
Bootlegs, get them on the move, get an open guy quick. So I think Blue is going to be a big part of the offense this week.
Well, when we get back into the game, when we get to the next week, next week, this game, I really also hope we get our running back to run right at a certain somebody because we know how that works.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah. Run at him.
Yeah, Jack Mika, they did let Zion Childress stay out there, and the Texans cut their starting safety and then picked up Zion Childress.
Yeah.
So that lets you know how respected he is around the league, that they would choose to go get a practice squad guy than use the veteran that they have or pick up another veteran. And I think that's going to be one of those positions, one of those players we look at, and 6 games from now or next year we say, wow, I can't believe we had him in our locker room and we let him go.
Yeah. Well, Cowboys are notorious for leaving people on their practice squad that should be starting.
Yeah. Like that defensive end for the Lions right now, was it Kamin Muhammad?
Yeah.
Had 2 sacks last week, 3 sacks already on the season. And he was on our practice squad last year. All right, we're at 18 minutes. Let me go ahead and hit the defensive notes, and then we'll get to these plays, and then we'll look ahead to the Packers game. So, defensive side of the ball, not a lot of good. When I look at this game, I will say this. We gave Eberflus a hard time last week. And when I look at last week and this week, I have to say, at the end of the day, cover 3 is cover 3. No matter who calls it. Cover 3 is cover 3. If I had to blame Eberflus for 2 things, it would be, 1, he's running cover 3 when clearly we have a bunch of players who are used to playing man. And number 2, the guys who aren't good in zone, he's not putting replacements out there like Jack Sanborn, Donovan Wilson, Malik Hooker, Kyer Elam. Because Reddy Stewart actually looks pretty good as a zone corner. He's really been impressive. But the safeties, not so much. And the linebackers for sure. Jeff asked a great question. Why isn't Leofow starting? I have no clue. He only played 9 snaps last week. Still makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. I think the D-line's going to be okay. This is the same note from last week. And I know people give the defensive line a hard time. They were not getting pressure, but they were getting in the backfield. The problem was the quarterback was getting rid of the ball in 2 seconds because the receivers had, on average, 4 yards of separation. Each receiver, let me just put this in perspective so you know how nuts this is. The average amount of separation in the NFL is 2.5 yards on average. According to PFF, every receiver on the Bears had 4 yards of separation. That is completely unheard of for a whole team to have 4 yards of separation at every position. So I think if they can find a way to make the quarterback hold the ball for a half second longer, it's going to pay dividends. Because when I watched the game, Osa was in the backfield. Clark was in the backfield. Donovan Ezeraka was in the backfield. It was just a half a second from being able to get close to the quarterback. Number 3, our defensive tackle group may be top 10 in the league. They're shutting down the run. They're getting after it on the pass, like I just said. The problem is they don't give teams incentive to have to run the ball because the pass game is so it's just so positive and so effective. Number 4, I said it last week, I'll say it again. Sanborn should not be a starter. I'm tempted to say he shouldn't be on the team. He looks that bad and lost. And I got a couple plays I'll show in a second that'll show you what I'm talking about. And number 5, Donovan Wilson, major liability. I'm going to have to add Malik Hooker in there as a liability as well, but Donovan Wilson is definitely a major liability. Jeff says time to kick the zone coverage.
We don't have players that can play zone. I don't understand what Eberflus.
Yeah. I agree.
We're a man team, and you got a ball hawk, which look, Diggs don't look like himself. I get it. But he's a ball hawk guy. It's high risk, high reward with Trevon Diggs, and he's not a zone guy. We saw that with Dan Quinn when he did that in what playoff game was that? Hold on. Was it the Green Bay game?
When they did what? Went to zone?
Went to zone.
Yeah, that was Green Bay
game.
And everybody was lost.
Yeah, we do not play in zone.
Yep.
Someone needs to show them that playoff video. Be like, look, this is what you look like again.
The sad part is they tried to run some man concepts and they still got lost. So I got a couple plays. Let me go through these comments and then we'll show a couple plays. Jeff says if we're getting beat so often, why not take the opportunity to blitz? You're getting beat anyway. That's a great question. One of my close friends, Coach Webb, I've had him on the show a couple times. He's always told me that coaches, because they live in the film room and in the facility for 14 to 16 hours a day, no matter how bad their scheme looks, they're not going to change it because they feel like I put this much time in, it should work. And if it doesn't work and I go away from it, it makes me look bad. Like, why am I here 14 hours a day if the stuff I'm working on is not providing results? And I think that's the case here. Let's see. Raphael says, I would not run when I can pass on those 2 old men in the backfield. That's true. I'll definitely accept that. Our defense is bad. We have 4 defensive coordinators in 6 years. We have no identity. I mean, I think we have an identity. They just don't take advantage of it. I will say this, because going back to point number 1, we ran cover 3 week 1, and we shut down the Eagles.
Yep.
So definitely Bland makes a difference because that's the only real difference. Bland helped cover up some gaps that maybe Reddy Stewart or Kyer Elam couldn't cover with our safeties and linebackers. Charles Murphy says Wilson plays better when everything is in front of him. I'll agree with that, but everything in front of him has to be within 15 yards. I'll add that caveat in. And Jeff says football is about adjustments. What I would say to that, Jeff, and I agree, I'm not disagreeing. I agree 100%. The problem is, if you look at the all-time great coaches, they get there because they know how to adjust and adapt. If you look around the league, a lot of guys do not change their schemes, whether it's effective or not.
Jeff, just to your comment, Devontae Smith had 7 yards and AJ had none or 3 maybe. I don't remember, but we definitely shut down we're not talking Hurts. We're talking wide receivers.
Yeah.
Secondary. We shut them down. And trust me, I know because I have Devontae Smith on my fantasy football team. It was rough. It was a good thing for us, but very bad for my fantasy team.
Yeah. Now, Jeff Pop says we didn't shut hers down in the first half. In terms of passing, we did. I'm just talking about passing.
Right.
We didn't stop the run for sure. But in terms of passing, we did shut that team down for the whole game. And then Jack Meeker says, how important does Jordan Lewis seem now that he's the only major change to the DB group? 100% agree with that. He was super important. He has 2 interceptions already on the year with the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
He's making his impact felt there. I wish we still had him here.
Me too.
All right, so if you guys will just indulge me for a minute, I got a couple of plays that I want to go through just to show what I saw watching the game and kind of why I say our linebackers and our safeties are just doing so much harm in terms of pass coverage.
While you pull that up, Jeff, just so you know, I'm like, and the sad thing is the reason we let go of him is because we intended to sign someone else and then we didn't. So in retrospect, we lost Jordan Lewis for nothing.
Yep.
So
see if I can get the right one. Okay. All right. So I just got 4 plays tonight. I just want to show you guys this. I'm not doing the flea flicker. So let me give a caveat. I'm not doing the DX play, and I'm not doing the flea flicker. The DX play was a bad play, but he slipped. I can blame him for it, but I can't say he messed up. He slipped and gave up a big play. The flea flicker, I could be upset about that, but it's a trick play for a reason. And the flea flickers work quite often in the NFL. So it's not like it's just a regular play like we've seen in the past, like the Giants game, where a guy just blew right past somebody and got a touchdown. It happened for a reason. So just like Jeff said, the flea flicker was a fluky play. All right. So this play, let me think. Let me play it a little bit so I can see what's going on. All right. So stop right here. You guys see this player right here? He's going in motion and Reddy Stewart's following him. So that means this is a man play. So this is one of the man plays that we actually ran. Okay. So he taps his head. That lets him know he's pattern matching to the safety. That's kind of one of those subtle things you have to catch on. Let me back up a little bit. So he tapped his head right there. That means I got him. That means when he taps his head, that lets me know that this is going to be cover 1. So if it's cover 1, the safety's covering deep. Everybody else is man to man. This linebacker has this running back. This linebacker has this tight end. This cornerback has this receiver. I don't have the whole screen because somebody else is wide, but I don't have that here. So remember, man to man, man to man, man to man, cover deep. This safety is going to play kind of a middle responsibility. In a typical man coverage, this linebacker would go here. But since that linebacker is playing man, that tap on the head told that safety, now this is your responsibility. So everybody kind of see that man to man, man to man, man to man, deep middle of the field. Let's see what happens when the play gets snapped. All right. So the ball gets snapped right here. I want to point something out. Remember I said this is man to man, right? Look where this running back is going. Look what this linebacker's doing. See the safety come down? The safety's covering this. Why is he right here? He should be following this running back. Let's play the play out some more. He just sunk in deeper. And the running back is right here wide open. Because it's man to man, nobody's guarding him. So Jeff, you asked the question, why is Hooker playing underneath? That's because when the nickelback did this tap on the head, that was telling the safety, I got my man, you cover the middle. That's why he's playing in the middle right there. So Hooker was right here. What was wrong was this guy was supposed to be playing man, and instead of following the running back, he's watching the quarterback. So watch what happens. The ball gets thrown. Nothing but green grass because everybody else was covering man. He jukes this guy out, and now we're off to the races. That's a simple concept. You're a linebacker, and you're literally face-to-face with this guy. Why are you not following him? That makes no sense. All right, let me go to play number 2. All right, so play number 2. Let me let it play out a little bit, okay? As you can see, the tight end's moving, and nobody's following him. That lets me know that it's a zone play. So because it's a zone, this cornerback is off, and this cornerback is playing close. So let's see if this cornerback steps back. Okay, the cornerback bailed out right there. This cornerback right here. When that cornerback bails out, that tells me cover 3. So cover 3. This cornerback has deep third. This safety has deep third. This cornerback has deep third. This linebacker is going to play middle hook. So if anything comes right here, hook route, and breaking route. Let's see, who am I missing? This safety is going to play curl flat. This linebacker is going to play curl flat. And this linebacker is going to play middle hook right here. So deep third, deep third, deep third, curl flat, middle hook, middle hook. So let's see what happens when the ball gets snapped. Now, I just want everybody to know that's watching this, these are simple day one concepts. I know everybody's not like a football nerd like some of us, but if you follow football, this is like, as soon as you see one thing, you know where everything's supposed to happen. Like I said, cover 3 is cover 3. Let's see what happens when the ball gets snapped. All right, ball gets snapped. Look at this linebacker. Look at this linebacker. They're supposed to be here and here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Nobody's deep enough. This guy's behind. This guy right here is already behind him, covering in the spot he's supposed to be at. Let's keep going through. Okay. Now, the ball goes right where this linebacker was supposed to be at. That's his responsibility. Easy throw, tons of separation. Now, I want to show it from another angle just so I can show you the difference between the two linebackers. All right. Tight end goes in motion. Everybody's got the responsibility. Now, first, they get fooled in by the play action. Now, watch 59. Look right here. You see 59? His head is looking back because he fell for the bait. He's looking back to see if anybody's in his zone. He's doing the right thing. What is Jack Sanborn doing? Still looking at the quarterback. Why are you watching the quarterback? Your job is to now get into your zone to make sure that there's nobody in your zone. And there's clearly a tight end right there behind him who he literally just touched his bottom and saw that there's a guy behind me on the other team. Let's see what happens after the ball gets snapped. Never turned his head around. The guy ran right past him. That's day one concepts. You know your zone. Go there. Second and third levels completely lost at sea. 1,000%. Jeff Pop, high school concepts. 1,000%. If I had any athleticism left, I could cover that 15-yard spot. It's not hard.
Mark, I drove by the Star Wars yesterday, and I told everybody I was about to go out there. I'm here. I'll charm my way into practice and start breaking shins.
Right.
Funny joke, if anyone wants to know, I've been telling everyone I was going to go and secretly like hurt Dak for a day just because I don't want him to get hurt during this next game. Not because I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it's better to say, you know what, take a break. Take the game off, sir.
I would not be upset with that because whatever you can do is going to be a lot less than what I think the Packers are going to do.
Yes, sir. Spot on. I needed to get like food poisoning, order him some food. This is all a joke. I realize I'm live streaming. It's a joke. Send him some food. Man.
All right, I got 2 more plays, and then we'll go on. Okay, now, so this play, this is the goal line touchdown. Let's see if anything moves. Okay, nobody moved, so I don't know the coverage at this point. If I were to guess, I would probably say it's some type of man concept. So I would probably guess here, 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 and this line, and this safety probably covers here. That's without seeing anything in terms of the ball being snapped. So that's my guess. Everybody here should be man with this safety kind of being a roamer. Let's see what happens when the ball gets snapped. Okay. What are we doing right here? Like, why is everybody looking at the quarterback? Look, here. Now, he's watching his man. So Sanborn did right here. Why is he watching the quarterback? Why is he watching the quarterback? I don't know what he's about to do. I'm assuming he's going to go right here. We'll see in a second. Okay. Now, right here. Everybody's still looking at the quarterback on this side of the ball. And right here. Nobody's watching this guy right here, clearly behind the entire defense in the end zone where you have 10 yards to cover. Nobody turned their head around to see where this receiver went off the snap of the ball. So that was the outside guy. And he just, I'll just run to the back of the end zone. And just a casual wide open throw. Look at this. We have 3 guys right here with 1 receiver. And their best receiver is standing in the middle of the field with not a single Cowboys player beside him. That's unacceptable. That's not coaching. That's players. And they're still looking at the quarterback. Why are they looking at the quarterback? Go find somebody and do some work. Now, I got one more play and then we'll get out. And then Bill Blanchard, I'll answer your question. Great point, Charles Murphy. Sanborn came from Chicago. He should know the scheme. How do you not know the scheme? Let's see. I got one more play, and I see we got a Bears fan in the comments. He's been a regular, though, so appreciate you joining us again. All right, so I got one more play. Let's see what happens on this one. Okay. Let's see if anybody goes in motion. Okay, nobody goes in motion, so it's hard to tell what's going on right now. Let me see if anybody does any type of hand signals or checks. Okay. So I'm watching for any hand signals or checks. Okay. He made a hand signal. Diggs. When Diggs did this usually means cloud. So I'm expecting some type of cloud coverage when he does this. So I'm looking for like a shell coverage. So without knowing, I would probably guess this is like a cover 3. So if it's a cover 3, Diggs has this third. I would probably guess this safety has the middle. This corner is probably going to cover this third. This linebacker is probably going to go curl flat. He'll probably go curl flat. Mm-hmm. And then he'll have middle hook, which would leave this safety again. This safety, remember on that first play, when they gave him a hand signal where he touched his head, and they told the safety, you got middle, I think that's what just happened right here when Diggs makes his hand signal. I'm almost sure that's what happened. So deep third, middle hook. And then this guy covers curl flat. Let's see what happens when the ball gets snapped. All right. It is cover 3. He bailed, and he bailed. Curl flat. These two have middle hook. And then this guy has curl flat. So let's watch the middle, because I'm pretty sure that's where the mess up comes in at. All right. This guy, number 10 right here. Nobody looked at him. This linebacker watching the quarterback. The safeties watching the quarterback. You see how these guys are bailing? Look right here. He's bailing. He sees this guy. He's bailing. This guy going deep. Diggs going deep. Why are you watching the quarterback? There's a guy right here streaming in front of you. There's a guy right here. Both of these guys are watching this guy right here. And look what number 10 does. Just casually gets right behind both of them. The safety is playing deeper than the linebacker. When the linebacker sees number 2, he goes with them. That means the safety should be looking behind him. That's basic safety concepts. That's like junior high football. And he makes an easy catch. So Jeff asked the question, what is Donovan looking at? Play. Donovan. Okay, so this is Donovan right here. So Donovan's going deep. It's cover 3. So he's covering the deep middle. He's actually right. The problem is Hooker, because there's a guy right here and a guy right here. Why is he standing right here? He should be in this area, covering the second level, because it looks like it was like a cloud coverage. So they're trying to funnel everything inside. If you look at all these guys right here, they're all making an umbrella because they want to funnel everything to this guy. And he did not do his job. Plain and simple. So I just wanted to go through those plays. Just watching the game, those plays were the ones that really stood out to me. Like for you guys who played football at any level, you know those are basic concepts. Anybody should be able to do that, especially if you're at this level. So we definitely have some linebacker and safety issues. And for that, you almost want to go to, like I said, some type of man coverage where you just cover that guy. And if he beats you one-on-one, so be it.
How much help do you think, which I'm afraid they're going to rush him back, but how much help do you think bringing in someone like Overshown's going to bring in? Because that's going to take Sanborn most likely out of the starting lineup, correct?
Yeah. I would say Overshown helps a lot because he's great in space. I think like plays like I showed you where they were funneling to the middle.
Right.
I think Overshown with his athleticism and his length, he can at least get a hand up and maybe knock some balls down or be able to pattern match a little bit better than Sanborn and not let guys just run streaming past them wide open and play better sideline to sideline.
Yeah, and everyone talking about Micah. Micah would not help half of these problems.
No.
In fact, we would be in worse shape after. Like you might sign him this year, but the next year you can't get anyone.
Yeah,
that's the issue. I don't know why Leofau's not out there. That's who should have the start to Sanborn. I'm not really understanding that. So
let me show this play again really quick. If you just watch the defensive line. So this guy was coming. If he held the ball another half second, there may have been a sack.
Yeah.
But I mean, there was really no resistance. drop back, let it go. That could have been a sack. If I went back and showed all three plays, all three plays were pretty much like that, except the goal line play, where the defensive line, they were close. They just needed that extra half second to be able to get there.
I hope Clowney comes in and kind of alleviates some of that too, because that's something else too. You don't really have when you look at our names, you don't have that pass rusher of fear. Now, look, that's not to knock. I actually am not angry at the Cowboys. I was like shocked, but I'm not angry about the trade. I think in the retrospect, moving forward, this year might be a wash. Moving forward, it's very good for the team because you can't pay three people like 50% of your cap. It's just not
right.
Not plausible. But I am excited to see. I think Bland was limited today. So there is a chance we could see him back. We'll have to see how that ramps up because it is a Sunday night game. So I really want to look at the practice report, let's say Friday, and see where we're at. I noticed Diggs didn't play again today, so we might he didn't practice today. So I noticed they're all magically hurt before this game. But we'll see.
Bill Blanchard asked the question, what free agent out there can come in and help? There's a couple of safeties that are out there, but unfortunately, I don't think they'll pick up any of them.
Isn't Asante Samuel still available? I mean,
yeah, but I don't know if he's even clear medically yet.
Has he? I knew he was dealing with some injury, but I mean, and then you've got CJ's and everyone talking about Gardner. Look, we're not going to deny that he's been very good through his career, but if the rumors are true, he was cut. Look, remember that he was cut for a practice squad guy. He has an attitude problem. And if you look at how many places he's been, so he was with Philly. And then if I recall, didn't he go to the Lions?
He did.
He went to the Lions and then back to Philly and then to the Texans. So there's some kind of issue there with Gardner Johnson. And I've heard it's locker room.
Yeah.
So we can't really, he's out there. And would it help right now? Yeah, probably just because we need somebody. But the problem is our team seems to favor we like our guys.
Yep.
Okay. We like I didn't know there's no other they like their guys.
Yeah. Now Jeff will tell you when Gardner Johnson came out of college, he was projected to be a late first round pick. And I was extremely high on him. That was the Tristan Hill draft. And they said he just completely butchered every single interview he had and fell to the fourth round. So there's been a lot of problems stemming back to college, even though the game film says he's a very talented player. Marcus Williams is still out there. Justin Simmons, a name that we've been talking about for probably 6 years, still a free agent. Those are probably the only two I would say would help. But again, I don't think they will make that phone call. Got a Bears fan in, familiar with Eberflus, familiar with Sanborn. He says Flus would never bench Sanborn, and unfortunately, I agree. He's on record saying Sanborn is his coach on the field. I love Jeff's comment, said Sanborn can coach from the sideline. He could definitely do that. And Govan says he should be starting right next to Eberflus on the sideline.
Eberflus should be on a bus.
Yeah.
I'm not just the offense comes out and does very well. And then you look at like the Philly game and you see the adjustments he made at half.
Yeah.
Were very impressive that game.
Yeah.
But then it's like we fell off a cliff.
Yeah. I don't understand it. And we'll move ahead to the Packers game after this. I don't understand why they re-signed Marquise Bell to what's a pretty good deal for a safety. And he's not touching the field.
Yeah, I don't.
He could play linebacker. He can give you some good coverage at linebacker. He can also play free or strong safety. And he's a super athletic guy, low 4'4" guy, 6'4", 228, 230. He can give you a lot on the field in terms of at least pass coverage, but they refuse to use him.
It's that same. Have we even seen a lot of Wanye? Like, I feel like we're not seeing a lot of him either. That or we're just not hearing. Like,
Wanye came in for the drive after the flea flicker.
Okay.
That was the only drive he came in. They pulled Diggs for a drive after the slip, and then they pulled Donovan after the flea flicker drive, and then those backups never touched the field again. So yeah.
I'm not sure how you can say, no offense, I know you're a Bears fan and I know you understand that, but a coach comes in and works with what they have. They don't just make stuff up to fit the scheme. This team was, if you look at defensively, what we've done, the things that we've fixed are stopping the run. And this team has never had an issue like in the secondary. And if you want to attribute that to Al Harris, I mean, that's fine. But the players are still there. The skill set's still there.
Yeah.
Eberflus is playing them out of position because he's trying to fit people into a scheme they don't fit in. As a coach, you have to be able to say, no, that they don't fit my scheme. I'm going to play what's strong for them for the betterment of the team, not for your ego. Yeah. So right now he's literally doing things that's stupid for the team. Honestly, most coaches doing this after 4 games, if they had it, most GMs, they wouldn't be a coach anymore.
That's true. That's true. Now, I will say there's one slight positive sitting out there. This is week 4.
Right.
Next week, we should get Kalen Carson back, Siobhan Revel, Deron Bland for sure, and possibly
Overshown. They're saying
Josh Butler.
Oh, well, they're saying Overshown is going to be activated after this week.
Okay.
I don't know. I was on Twitter and I saw that. They've already got him on cables, which is usually a pretty strong sign. Yeah. But of course, he has to be activated off PUP, and it had to go 4 games. So this is week 4.
Yeah.
So they could open that 21-day practice window as soon as Monday.
I think they will open that up, but I don't think he'll be on the field week 5. Kalen Carson can be on the field week 5. Deron Bland could be on the field week 5.
Yeah, they didn't put him on IR. So
we didn't put who on IR?
Bland.
Oh, that's true. We didn't put Bland on IR. I'm just saying he should be back.
Yeah, he should be. Yeah. I would be shocked. He might be back this week.
Yeah. And also we do get Mingo back week 5 too. But I'm just talking defensive side of the ball.
Oh, and Phil Maffa. Sorry. Let's hold up.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that too. I think Miles is playing really well, so I can't really give him too much, but we're also going to get the opportunity if we wanted to see Maffa, which he was playing extremely well in preseason.
Yeah. But just on the defensive side of the ball, Carson, whether fans hate him, he's a better corner than all the corners we have out there right now. Bland is definitely a better corner. So if you can get Carson and Bland back, I think that helps the scheme dramatically because Carson did come from a zone scheme in Wake Forest.
And what about Revel? Let's really look at. He was supposed to go first.
Yeah,
he's a first-round pick. Got injured. Our doctor did the surgery, so I'm excited to see what Revel does because I think he's the opportunity to see Diggs' contract go bye-bye.
Yeah,
if he plays well this year, Diggs goes bye-bye.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Revel. I think if Revel gets activated, I think he gets a 21-day window because he hasn't practiced. He hasn't done any NFL football activity, so he's gonna need 3 weeks. And even with that, he may not even be what I would consider ready to play until week 10 or 11. But Carson knows the scheme. Carson has been here. I think he can play next week, and I think Bland can too. And we talked about this earlier in the show. I think you missed it. We talked about how coaches spend 14 hours in the film studying in the locker room, and they think their way works because they put so much time in, even though it doesn't translate on the field. Let's see. Bill Blanchard asks, "What does Turpin fit in on the offense?" He's your 3rd wide receiver right now, whatever that means. I think we'll have to find out whether they play him at the X or in the slot. We'll all find out this week. I would probably assume he gets played in the slot, but you never know. I think this week, if I had to guess, I would probably say they bring up a Holden or a Brooks, and we see Turpin a whole lot more on special teams. I think they're going to try to use that to get some juice in the game because I don't think the offense is going to be able to move it like they expect.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. So we spent 55 minutes on the Bears. Let's go ahead, look ahead to the Packers game. So really quick, talked about the storyline. CD Lamb injured. Booker also injured. Both of them have high ankle sprains. We touched it earlier in the show. Booker went on IR. Lamb didn't. Amanda gave a great recap of what she thought about that. So if you guys joined us late, be sure to rewatch the show's first 15 minutes and hear Amanda's thoughts about that whole high ankle sprain situation with the wide receiver. So let's go ahead. Let's look ahead to this game with the Packers. Let's go ahead and jump right into what I see as some of the key matchups as we enter this week's game. I'm pretty sure you guys already know what the first key matchup is.
Key matchups.
Key matchup number 1. Micah versus Tyler Guyton.
This is so weird. I'm sorry. Just looking at the image, it's such a weird thing to think about. Whew.
Yeah, this one's gonna be ugly, I think. Hopefully they can run right at him, like you said at the beginning of the show, Amanda, and try to limit the pass rush. Definitely don't get in 3rd and long. Or it's definitely
if we get into 3rd and long, y'all better run Milton out there and let him handle it, okay?
Yeah.
Oh,
if it's 3rd and long, just do a draw play. Don't even worry about it. We understand.
Look, at this point, let Turpin get it up to the 50 and just start kicking.
Yeah.
No, he didn't say he wants to bring Dak Payne. That is being taken out. And I'm going to clear this up right now for everybody. He said it was going to be painful to have to sack Dak because that's his friend. He did not mean he wants to bring him pain. He said it's going to be painful to have to sack Dak. That's what he said. I don't know why people are typical media nonsense. That's not what the man said. I watched the interview. Micah seriously said it was going to be painful because they asked him how it would feel to have to sack Dak Prescott, which he's been with Dak for 4 years. And we can hope that Micah might have some sentimental, some emotional moments there and not want to touch him, okay? But he didn't say he wants to bring pain to Dak. He said it was going to be painful to have to do it. Sorry. That I've noticed the media sometimes drives me nuts. I understand the point. It's for clicks and dollars, but man.
We got to discuss it, Jeff. We'll go through it quickly, but we already know what to expect. All right. So this one, I mean, there's not much you can say. Pray for the best. Hope Guyton doesn't get it completely embarrassed. And hope he can at least lean on him in the run game. But pass rushing, it's going to be a problem.
I really hope you're right, Jeff, because I think that would be underestimating that Guyton Hoffman. Guyton practiced with Tyron a lot this offseason, and he has played pretty well.
Yeah.
And he has practiced against Micah for 2 years. So if any team can counter, Schottenheimer should be able to counteract this, right? If you think about it, the man's talent. You've seen it. You've been there. So we'll see. I hope and pray that they're going to surprise the crap out of us. Cleveland beat them, but on a fluke. Don't get me wrong, but Cleveland won. Maybe the football gods will look down on us and be like, "Here, Cowboys, here's a hand."
I would be shocked. Somebody asked a question before we got started. Looks like we got a Packers fan in the comments. Jerry Reed. Thank you for joining us, Jerry Reed. Even though you're a Packers fan, we appreciate your comment. Let's see. Let's go to our next key matchup. This one's going to be a really good one. Kayseon Nixon versus George Pickens. Nixon is a very aggressive corner. He takes advantage of having that pass rush. He likes to get on the line. He likes to press. He likes to try to pattern match quite a bit. He likes to travel with receivers. So he's definitely going to be on George Pickens. He's probably about 5'10", 5'11", but he plays well above his size. I think if we have any opportunities, there's going to be some 50-50 opportunities with Pickens and Nixon. And I think we'll have a chance to make some plays in the passing game if Pickens can get off the line quick, because Nixon is a very aggressive cornerback. Let's see. Next key matchup. This one is the one that concerns me. The Packers don't have a lot of receivers. The Packers have a lot of receivers, but they don't have one guy who they just lean on.
Right.
But the one thing Romeo Doubs does is the one thing that we have a problem with. And he's kind of like a George Pickens. He averages about 17 yards a catch. So anytime he's getting the ball thrown to him, it's going to be a deep route. Playing that cover 3 zone that we've seen, that means it's going to be him and Elam basically one-on-one on the boundaries. He's a major boundary receiver. He likes to do those acrobatic toe tap type catches. So I think we're going to see these two in a lot of situations where it's going to be one-on-one. And hopefully Elam will be able to take advantage of a couple of those. But I think we're going to see probably 3 or 4 jump ball situations with Romeo Doubs on the outside. I think this is the only skill position matchup that they really have, unless they pull out some trick plays. Next key matchup, and I basically just spent 30 minutes talking about the linebackers, so I gotta point this one out.
Oh man,
Jack Sanborn against Tucker Kraft.
and if anyone doesn't know about Tucker Kraft, for the Packers fan here, yes, I'm going to say it. This man is an impressive. I would say he might be the best tight end in the NFL right now.
I could not disagree with that.
And I know that because everyone laughed at me when I took him in fantasy football in every league. And I was like, look, if you watched him last year, you knew what was coming. He is very, very good. This is a scary. Put Marist out there.
Yeah. And when the what's the receiver name that got hurt for the Packers?
Reed.
When Jaden Reed got hurt, that pretty much just opened up the middle of the field for Tucker Kraft.
Yeah.
Because Reed was kind of the shifty possession guy, and Tucker was kind of the seam guy. Now that Reed's gone, Tucker gets everything across the middle. So I think we're going to see a lot of this matchup, probably more than any wide receiver. So hopefully, I can't even say he'll have a chance, honestly. This one really scares me. We'll probably see a Jake Ferguson type game where it's 8 or 9 catches for Tucker Kraft, and I think he'll have more than 50 yards than what Ferguson had last week. Jeff just putting barbecue chicken for every matchup.
Barbecue chicken. I prefer brisket, but I don't think we're eating that well. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so we got 2 more key matchups, then we'll go to X Factors. Next key matchup, Brock Hoffman versus Devontae Wyatt. When I watched the Packers, I tried to watch the last 2 games. They run a lot of 4-3 under defense, which basically is like that old DeMarcus Ware offense we used to run, where you put your nose tackle head up against the center, you put your 3 tech against the guard, and then you try to isolate that outside linebacker one-on-one. They run the same 3-4 defense. So Micah's kind of in the D Ware spot. So Brock Hoffman's going to see a lot of Devontae Wyatt as a straight-up nose tackle. And this kid is quickly becoming a top 5 defensive tackle in this league, which made it possible to trade a Kenny Clark.
Well, Kenny Clark is amped up to play this game too. I don't know if y'all what he's seeing the stuff he's saying, and that's also something we can at least be grateful for. We know what this team is doing because unlike the person we traded, he was in practice every day working with this team. So if there's any help that we're going to get, it's going to be from the secrets that we find from Kenny Clark.
Right, because he was actually a real leader in the locker room, which means he was a major film study guy and helping everybody get in spots. As well as
I still am I didn't realize when we traded for him. I really did. I'm still grateful that he has more than 1 year on his contract. It's a very, very well written contract when I look at it. It's not, and he has really done something impressive to that what was a position of weakness. Like you said, we might have the best position group in the league. Even through all the negatives, he's really done something, and that's something we're going to continue to grow on because he's going to be here for several years.
Right. Last key matchup, and we'll go to X Factors. Jadeveon Clowney, in his Cowboys debut, gets undrafted rookie free agent Brant Banks.
Yes.
Zach Tom is hurt, their starting left tackle.
And their guard.
And their guard is hurt, who actually does play backup left tackle.
Uh-huh.
So they have to bring in undrafted free agent Brant Banks from the practice squad, and he'll be getting his first game against Clowney. So if we have any chances defensively on 3rd and long, if we can get them there, it's going to be this matchup, because you got a seasoned veteran against a guy who's never played an NFL game before, under the bright lights of Sunday Night Football
at Jerry World.
At Jerry World. That's going to be a tall task for him. So pay close attention to this matchup as the game progresses, because I think it could possibly play some positive dividends for us. You finally get a barbecue chicken our way, Jeff. All right, guys, we're at 1 hour 7 minutes. Views are still pretty steady. Thank you guys who trickled in from X. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully one day we can get you guys on YouTube or Facebook so that we can get some of you guys to comment. And if any of you guys that are watching are from X and you've joined YouTube or Facebook, please let me know, just so I can kind of keep track of who we've gotten to trickle in and make some comments. All right, next segment we'll go to is X Factors. We'll go through it quickly, and then we'll hit these over-unders, and then we'll get out of here. So first X Factor, Amanda just broke it down perfectly. Kenny Clark. What he meant to their team, what he's done to this scheme, and what he knows about that offensive line. All of those are going to be major factors into helping us possibly pull off what would be a completely improbable upset.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine the storylines? Jerry, this is the game. If there's any, I could lose every game the rest of the season if we win this game.
Yeah.
Just because I'd love to say, look, see, we did it. Now, look, they might go to the Super Bowl, but
right.
Hey, we beat them.
That's true. That's true. But again, they don't have a lot of like super talented receivers. So even though our corners are bad, if we get a Bland back, we could have a shot to kind of shut them down if Bland is in there, and just pray for the best with Tucker Kraft and hope that they finally make a transition to safety. Those are my 3 wishes for this game. So Jeff Pop says he has not done much this year. I would completely disagree with that.
100%.
Yeah. Our defensive front 4 has never looked better against the run. Our linebackers aren't even contributing in the run. Running backs don't get past the D tackles. And yeah, he's given us a lot of good pass rush at D tackle, even though unfortunately they're not making him hold the ball enough to get there. But yeah, he's definitely made a serious impact in terms of our defensive tackle group and our front 4. And I feel like once we get our cornerbacks to a healthy spot, I think Jeff Pop, it'll really stand out more to you, because I'm sure you're probably not like one of those football junkies who watches all 22 and stuff like that. But once he gets a chance to really have some help on the back end, you'll start to notice on the front end what Kenny Clark has brought to us. Yo, we haven't forgot. Definitely haven't forgot, Raphael. And I got an over-under with Josh Jacobs in it as well, so we'll get to that in a second. All right, my next X factor will be Javonte Williams. I made a tweet early this week that the offense should flow through Javonte for the next 5 games. The offensive line has some injuries, but I think in terms of scheme and the players we have, there won't be much of a drop off. He's averaging 5 yards a carry for the season. And he's making something happen on every carry, while also averaging 4 catches a game. So he's been a do-it-all running back. Again, if we have any chance in this game, it's going to be check down, check down, check down, and he's going to be heavily involved in that. And we're going to need some big plays from him just as much in the passing game as the running game. Third X factor is Jalen Tolbert. Lamb is out. Watching the Packers play, the Packers do a lot of man concepts where they jam at the line of scrimmage because they know their pass rush is going to get there quickly. So Tolbert is going to have some one-on-one opportunities. Let's just see if he can make some possession catches. We don't need splashy plays. We just need, if it's 3rd and 4 and we have to pass it, beat your guy, make the catch, get down. Kind of like what he did last week. But it was in a losing effort. But we definitely need to see Tolbert step up and get us 4 to 5 catches, 40 to 50 yards. Not a lot, just be steady. Let's see. The last X factor. This is wishful thinking. I put the starting safety. I don't know who that'll be. I pray it might be Bell or Wanye this week. But whoever it is, if you guys remember last year's game, they're going to have a major part in the outcome of this game, because I'm pretty sure the Packers starting off are looking at last year's game and saying, this is our game plan going in until they make us change it. So you're going to see a lot of crossers, a lot of deep passing routes, and whoever the safety is going to definitely have to be over top and help out in coverage. Raphael, I'm right there with you. I'm not a fan either, but we gotta roll with the cards that we're dealt. All right, with an hour, 13 minutes, last segment of the show is over under, where I'll give you guys some statistics and you guys let me know whether or not you think we go over or under that statistic. So let's go ahead and get an over under.
Let's do it.
Over under.
First over under. Micah Parsons coming home. Big game, bright lights against the Cowboys. He says it's going to be painful to sack his old friend. Over under 1.5 sacks for him sacking Dak Prescott.
Hamstring injury. Can't play. Sorry. I'm wishful thinking. Let's see. Has he had a 2-sack game yet with them? Was it last week? Did he have 2 sacks? Trying to remember.
I can look it up really quick.
I want to say he only has 4 sacks on the season. So I would assume one game he had 2. But he had a half sack one game.
He only has 1.5 sacks this year.
Oh, well, who said? I thought someone said 4 earlier. I guess, yeah. So, I'm going to say under.
Maybe they said he's going to get 4 sacks this game. Maybe that was it.
I trust my offensive line, man. I know it's something to think about. Under, because you won't let me say push.
Nah, you can't say push.
Under for me.
All right, so we got a lot of overs. Kilo, thank you for joining us. Jeff Pop over. Jack Meeker over, gets 2. Raphael agrees with you at under. Jeff has over with his eyes closed, and then Jeff Pop doing the 1.5 push. Even though you start off with over, I'm going to hold you to over, Jeff Pop. But he said 6 pressures. I could definitely agree with that. I should have put pressures as a statistic. Kilo says Parsons going to have the best game of his career Sunday night. That wouldn't be surprising, to be honest. All right. So I said we're going to need a lot of Javonte Williams this game. Over under 70 yards rushing for Javonte Williams in this game.
Run right at him. Unless he figured out how to fix that after he left. But that is Micah Parsons. I love the guy, okay? I do. I mean, over. Run right at him.
Oh, thank you, Jeff Pop. Yeah, he has 1.5 for the season. Thanks. All right. Tony Walls looks like a new name. Thank you for joining us. He has under 70. Kilo has over. And Hector Vargas has over as well. Jeff Pop rolling solo with the under. Everybody else has over. I think I'm in agreement with you guys. I think they're going to have to try to run right at them. I do expect to see a lot of Brevin span forward on their side, giving them some chips and some double teams. And
you paid Lukey. Bring him out there.
Yeah.
They line up in third. If we do get in third long situations, bring your fullback out there and help him block.
Yeah.
Put Brevin in the backfield. Let him block. Somebody. Don't leave Dak on a dang island.
Yeah, I love this. He did carry that D tackle 5 yards on his back.
Yeah,
he can definitely run right through Micah's chest and for extra yardage.
Can you imagine? He just carries Micah down the field. Man, Micah said everybody going to cheer for him when he gets to AT&T Stadium. I hope everyone boos the crap out of him.
I know.
Don't get too, you know what I mean? That'd really mess with his head. I'm going to go post in DC for if you're going to the game, boo him.
Right.
Because that would really mess with him.
So Jeff Pop says the Packers D is good. I agree. If you look at who they played so far, though, who they played week 1? They played the Lions. They did shut the Lions down, but the Lions were dealing with 2 offensive lineman injuries on a team that doesn't have the depth we have. Week 2, they played the Commanders. Their starting running back got hurt early in the game, and then they played the Browns, and Quinshon Judkins had 94 yards and averaged 5 yards a carry. So the one good running back they played averaged 5 yards a carry, had almost 100 yards. So their D is good. I agree. Their defense is good. But I've seen a good running back run on them, and I think we have a chance as well. Jeff says it's going to be hard to run at them because they're going to move them around a lot. That's true, but find them or run at whoever's there. I just want to see us run to the left side. That's all I care about. That's where the strength of the offense is. Keep running it over there. Let's see. Jeff Pop says there'll be 30,000 Packer fans in the stadium. Yeah, I think this one might look like a Packers home game. I agree with that. So we'll just have to deal with that when it happens. All right. Let's see. So George Pickens over under 70 yards receiving. Remember, I think it's going to be a lot of man-to-man because they expect their pass rush to get home. Can George Pickens beat the press and make a couple of big plays? Let me know what you guys think. Over under. Kilo got an over. And I agree with you, Kilo. I think Parsons may have 2 sacks. Dak's definitely throwing the interception. I would definitely agree with that.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to force it.
Uh-huh. Or the Packers play so aggressive, I can see a tip ball hitting the receiver's chest, or Packers corner getting his hand in and knocking it up. I can see it being something like that. Kilo over, Hector under, Jeff Pop under. Jack Meeker says he's going to get 3 20-plus yard passes. Jeff Pop thinks they'll double cover him. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Raphael said it might be his first 100-yard game. That would be a great thing if that did happen. Jeff says he has to play for that contract. If he's looking for a big contract, this would definitely be a great game to do it in. All right, so we do have another Packers over-under. We talked about the Cowboys receiver. Like I said, the Packers don't have a number 1 guy. They have a bunch of guys who they pass the ball to pretty evenly. So this is Romeo Dobbs, and this is their rookie Matthew Golden, which a lot of Cowboys fans wanted us to draft at pick 12. Matthew Golden hasn't done anything this year,
Anything.
but
This will be the game.
he still runs a 4-3, and we know how our defense is against guys who can go deep. So over under 90 yards receiving for either, not both of them together, either one of them. And if you say over, let me know which one you think goes over 90 yards receiving.
Over for Dobbs.
Over for Dobbs, okay. I'm leaning Dobbs too, to be honest. I think what Jeff Pop said about George Pickens, about Jack Meeker said he may get 320+ yard passes. I could see that being Dobbs on the other side. Jeff says, I think Golden gets us on a deep route. They do have Wicks too, but Dobbs and Golden have kind of been the guys who have been getting more targets. So I just kind of put those two guys up here. Dobbs over. They're going to throw for 380 against our secondary. I probably agree with that also. I mean, how much did he throw for the last time he played them?
Ooh, I don't know.
Let's see what it was. He passed for 272 and 3 touchdowns. And that was against a healthy secondary. So, yeah, that number can hit 300. Easy. Jeff Pop says, I think they run on us all day. I really think you're going to be surprised with how good our run defense looks, Jeff Pop. I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think it is to just run all over us, especially considering how good and successful teams have been against the pass. All right, so I got one more over-under, and as you guys know, the last over-under is usually an either or. So we talked about it earlier in the show. Tucker Kraft is kind of their number one receiver.
Wow.
Last week, Jake Ferguson had 6 catches for 50-some yards or so? Let me check.
Kraft gonna put up 200, Marcus.
Jake Ferguson had 13 catches for 82 yards last week. So, which tight end gets more receiving yards, Jake Ferguson or Tucker Kraft? Let me know which one you guys think. So, for the season, Jake Ferguson has 27 catches for 183 yards. And Tucker Kraft stats. He has 11 catches, 169 yards.
Mm-hmm. Kraft will be better.
The stats are pretty similar. Kraft just he gets as many yards with a lot less catches. So, yeah. So, you think Kraft has more receiving yards? Jeff Pop says, Ferg, we have no one else. Jeff has Kraft. Kilo has Jake. It's pretty split. I thought it'd be more one way or the other.
I think it's just because I've seen, and it's funny because I actually have Kraft and Ferguson on one team. I have them both. And last week I said, oh man, what do I do? Well, no, I have both of them. And see, that's the thing in the league that I really, really, really need to win. The one I bought myself into.
Yeah.
With the league that I'm really, really in, I have both. So I might end up moving, and I have Golden too. So I might kick Golden down because he's been I put him in the flex because I expected him to do really well getting acclimated, and he's really failed. So I think I might put both of them in this week. It might be worth it.
If there's ever a week to start 2 tight ends, I think this will be the one.
Yeah, I think so
It'll
too.
be this game, yeah. All right, so that one was pretty split, surprisingly, between Ferguson and Kraft.
Jake's good, and I'm glad we signed him. It's
Yeah.
just another person that probably very well could have not been here because he got signed, I think, when the writing was on the wall of
Yeah.
what was going to happen. When I look at what the Cowboys are doing, Jake is a solid player. I don't like his blocking as well as I like Brevin's.
Mm-hmm.
Jake tends to kind of he's careful. Ever since getting hurt last year, I don't know if you've noticed that on his
Yeah.
blocking assignments, he's very cautious. And we
Mm-hmm.
don't need a cautious tight end. I got really used to Witten, which he didn't give a crap. He was all game, he was there.
Yeah.
He didn't care if he'd got hurt last week. He wasn't careful. He did what he needed to do. So I don't know. I think it'll be a very tight end heavy game. I would very much expect it. Someone mentioned Josh Jacobs. Yes,
Yeah.
he's
That was
good.
Raphael.
Don't get me wrong. I like Josh, but we've done very well against the run. That's not what's lost us games.
Yeah.
So
Actually, not a single game have we given up more than 60 yards to a running back.
which is crazy considering usually it's the other way around. We shut down the secondary and we struggle with the run. It's
Yeah.
bizarre how that's flipped.
I'm looking at Josh Jacobs' stats. He's averaging 3 yards a carry so far this year.
Yeah. Javonte's running better than he is.
Yeah, definitely.
And I remember everyone was so mad when we brought Javonte in, and you and I were like, well, if he can be what he was before injury, like he's young, he's not people thought he was an older guy. He's 25. I would already extend the man, I think, honestly, because then you don't have to worry about a running back next draft. I would probably extend Javonte right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got Blue in the second year. You got Moff in the second year. Javonte's not going to be that expensive if you do it right now, probably $4 or $5 million at the most. He's only 25. Give him a 3-year deal and make it essentially like a 2-year deal with a 3rd-year balloon if he really balls out.
I like
Get it over with now, lock him up, and see what happens. Because he's only going to get more expensive as the season progresses. Because there's going to be a lot of teams that are looking for running backs next year.
I mean, yes, Blue and Maffa, possibility, but you want that veteran presence. So I think I would personally do that. So
yeah. So Jeff wanted me to put his over-under up. Would Jerry come to the sideline this game?
We're lucky. Look, if all I know is that lady with the Indianapolis Colts down there on the sidelines with a headset on, she's doing something right. She got Daniel Jones at 3-0.
Yep, exactly.
But I don't think let's not get Jerry any ideas.
So Jeff Pop and Jack Meeker both asked the question: is Witten a first ballot Hall of Famer? I would say yes.
I would too.
Isn't Witten like top 10 all time in receiving yards, regardless of position?
Yeah, I believe so.
Let me check real quick just to make sure. Jason Witten's, he's number
7.
He's number 4 on on the receptions list.
Wow.
Number 4 tight end. He's number 4 all time in receptions.
Wow.
Over Marvin Harrison, Chris Carter, T.O., Reggie Wayne.
Crazy.
And he's right behind. He's like 70 receptions behind Tony Gonzalez. So yeah, if you're top 5 in a receiver stat as a tight end, you're first ballot.
Yeah, he's first ballot. And it's this year, right? He's on the list this year.
That's what everybody's saying.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
But yeah, he's number 1 on all Dallas' stuff, though. You're right.
He should be in the Ring of Honor too. That's just seems like a no-brainer. I figured Tony and him would be put in on same year would be my expectation.
Yeah. Hector says Shoddy versus Matt LaFleur. I mean, they're both good offensive coordinators, I would say. I know a lot of people didn't like the Schottenheimer move, but you can't look at these first 3 weeks and say you're disappointed in the offensive play calling.
Exactly. Everyone's already talking about making Shoddy a one and done coach. So you're going to put the defense on him? We put the defense on Dan Quinn when he was here. We put the defense on now I can't think what was the guy's name?
Mike Nolan.
Mike Nolan. But now that Shoddy's here,
Mike Zimmer,
you telling me that now that Shoddy's here, he gets to take the defense's credit?
Right.
It's just like if Dak went somewhere else and won a Super Bowl, it'd be a team sport all of a sudden. What? It's the
Yeah,
truth, Marcus. I
it's
mean,
true.
let's just be honest. If Dak was anywhere else, Dak would be a top 5 quarterback in the league.
No question.
No question. So
yeah, I do question the passing it in the red zone. Not something I would do, but it's not something he's done consistently enough for me to see it as a problem, because the Cowboys are still 80% in the red zone, which is top 5 in the league. So on that play, I say, okay, he shouldn't have done that. But outside of that, everything else, I think it's been really good.
outside of run, I mean, and people are mad about the CD out of the backfield. That's not like we haven't seen it before.
Yeah.
We saw it many times under Mike McCarthy even. I mean, it's just the way it is. So,
Yeah.
and Jeff, you might, I don't disagree. I don't even, I would put him at 5 right now because there are some very good quarterbacks, but, like just some of the things that are said, it just blows my mind. And I could sit here and go on and on about that situation, but anywhere else, it's just the way the narrative shifts when you talk about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Everything changes, expectations, decision making, everything shifts when you bring up the star. Just
exactly. And I don't want to go too deep in the weeds on this one, but they crown quarterbacks who have done
nothing.
not anything close to what Dak has done.
Like, look at Lamar Jackson. And look, and this is just an honest, Lamar straight up stole the MVP from Dak that year. I don't care. I will die on the hill that Dak Prescott should have been the MVP in 2023. And if he wasn't a Cowboy, he would have been.
Mm-hmm.
But Lamar Jackson, I think he has one more playoff win than Dak Prescott.
Mm-hmm.
One more. I mean, let's be real here. He also struggles, but when the Ravens win a tough game, it's because of Lamar.
Yeah.
When Dak wins a tough game, it's because of the team. It's just an interesting thing. And you can say it's a $60 million contract. I get it. Jerry jumped in too deep right there. He should have went to 55. Dak probably would have got 55. But Jerry knew that after the 2023 year, he had to pay Dak because Dak, if he didn't sign Dak before week 1, Dak probably would have walked at the end of 2024, barring the injury.
Yeah. And I'll make this comment and then we can get out of here. Remember last year when everybody was saying CJ Stroud is a top 3 quarterback? How does that look right now?
I'm sorry. It's just like Joe Burrow. I also think Joe's a great quarterback. There's one problem. Joe can't stay on a field the full season.
Yeah.
He's a good quarterback, but he's injury prone. So you can't put him above someone who, yes, there's been some fluke, serious injuries, but Dak plays his dang heart out, man.
Yeah.
So.
All right, guys. Well, that's pretty much all we have for this show. Hour 30 minutes. Thank you guys for joining. Views stayed pretty consistent. So thank everybody joining us from X, joining us from the DC4L Facebook page, as well as my YouTube channel. I see we got a couple of people joining on that DC4L YouTube channel as well.
Thank
you.
So
for those of you who are watching, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And as you know, you can always find us at 8:30 Central Standard Time every week for the Fifth Quarter Podcast. Hopefully next week, I'm not even going to say we're going to do a Victory Wednesday. I'm just going to say I hope the beating was not too bad, because we will be looking ahead to next week's game against the New York Jets. That if we can come out of this game healthy and confidence, not beaten, we should be able to win that game. So join us next week for a recap of the Packers, and then we'll look ahead to the Jets game. I will say this before we go. Our next 5 games, if we start off, what would we be, 1-3?
Yeah.
Our next 6 games will be Jets, Panthers, Commanders, Broncos, Cardinals, Raiders, before we see the Eagles. If we get our guys back that I think we get back in terms of defense, I think we can win 4 of the next 6.
I agree. I think we can turn it around. And I look at that game and I say the Cardinals, because I never trust this team against the Cardinals.
Yeah, we never, and that's Monday Night Football too.
Yeah, I look at the Cardinals game, be like, loss. And if we win,
Yeah.
I'm happy, but it's like we can't beat them. If you think about this team's been excellent, and then
I
they go
know.
out there and crap their bed. So, but I don't. I agree with you. I think if we can come out, and that's going to be the biggest thing, is staying healthy through this game. I don't even know if I care if we win. I want to remain healthy.
Yeah.
If we can stay healthy, I think we'll turn it around and we'll look, say week 7. I think we'll be on the positive side of wins.
Yeah. Yeah, I think by the time we go to our bye week, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we can win 3 of the next 5, then have the bye week, and then face the Raiders, and then get another shot at the Eagles.
I still don't think. I'm sorry. I still don't think that team's very good. I think that's the luckiest football team in
I
the
agree.
sport. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, if we have overshown for that game, I think it's a different game. And I probably should say this for the bye week, but just real quick, the Chiefs have not been the Chiefs. Nothing about that team scares me.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
What a flip.
Let's see. The Chargers late season, they always collapse. We get the Commanders twice within that time frame. We'll probably split with them. We still have a chance to go 9-8, 10-7, I think.
I agree.
If this team comes back healthy at the bye and we have our full complement of cornerbacks, our linebacker, and our receivers and offensive line, just hang with them, guys, because I think it's only going to get better. We'll beat the teams we're supposed to beat, and I think this team will surprise a couple of people after the bye week.
Agreed.
All right, I see we got Roderick Atwood, one of our admin, joining us late. Appreciate you popping your head in before we end the show. William Wiggins, we're headed out. Go back and watch the replay. Appreciate you joining us right now. Hit that like button before you go. We got Marlon joining us, diehard Saints fan. Appreciate you clicking in for us today. And Jack Meeker says, I'm never not optimistic. So, yeah.
It's a way to be, Jack.
Yeah. All right, guys. So before we get out of here, thank you guys for joining. Great comments, great questions. Great show, considering it was pretty much sky falling from beginning of the show to the end. But thank you guys for continuing to stick with us through the end. Hope to see you guys next week. And as always, let's go Cowboys. Amanda, any closing words before we go?
No, man, I appreciate you all. Marlo, I'm so sorry about Kellen Moore. Just want to tell you sorry about your luck, brother. Y'all have a great night.
All right, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. I'll see you next Wednesday.